Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is that you inky savages are joining us for episode number 150 of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast. As Tom in the background there tries to pantomime the numbers 150 with his hands.
50. Yes.
Right. It wasn't working.
That's a big milestone.
You think so?
Who do we have? Do we have anything special lined up for this? Special guest?
I don't know.
Perhaps I don't know. Something that you're giving away yourself.
Do you feel like 150 is a milestone? I feel like 100 is a milestone. And then after that, 1,000. I think everything in between is kind of like just trying too hard to celebrate something, right?
So they're going to be waiting a very long time for some sort of special commemorative episode.
I mean, should we do something special like a gold spot giveaway or something?
No, I thought it was a PenBoyRoy giveaway.
It was.
Direct
we could
from
say,
the PBR.
We could say that it is a commemorative one. Well, we'll talk about it later. But before we do that, I want to talk about my sponsors, Gold Spot Pens. Please check out Gold Spot Pens using the affiliate link in the description below. And make sure to use coupon code. I forgot the coupon code this week. Is it Noodle? What's so funny? It is Noodle, right?
Because I forgot it as well.
Right. Use coupon code Noodle, Noodle, for an additional savings on all products on the Gold Spot Pens website. Some exclusions do apply. Please use that Noodle coupon code using the affiliate link in the description below. Thank you. And also, Bryce over at Luxury Brands of America, who is the distributor for a notebook, not only Nebula, but there's this one called Endless. And Endless used to be really cool because they use this paper called Tomoe River. Now, Tomoe River kind of was like, they went the way of, I don't know, you know how some companies, they have a good product on their hands and they're like, hey, this is selling real well. Here's a great idea. Let's just discontinue it. So that's what Tomoe River did, right? So in its place, they got some paper called, what's the paper called, Tom?
The Regalia.
Regalia paper. Now, the Regalia paper, it's not as, I want to say, it doesn't feel as lacquered as the Tomoe River paper.
Some on this creative block as well.
Right. And it's not as thin, right? So like when I think of Tomoe River paper, I think of like when I was in grade school, we had to study, because I went to Catholic school, but we had these old Bibles, and the Bibles were like the King James edition, and the paper inside was always like super thin and crinkly.
It was like one-ply toilet paper.
No, but it wasn't like soft and cottony. It was like lacquered, and
it was like half-ply toilet paper.
It wasn't like toilet paper, dude. Get off toilet paper. It was more like a lacquered, super thin paper, and that's what Tomoe River paper reminded me of. Mm-hmm. But the Regalia paper is not like that at all. It's more like, I want to say, it has a drier feel to it, and it feels more, I want to say, toothy when you write on it.
For sure.
Right? So this is a dot grid. It's called the Observer. It's really cool because they say that it opens flat, which it sincerely does. So it's the same Endless notebook that you're all familiar with. It just opens flat and it has like a, as you can hear or see, it's got a hard cardboard cover. Now, what you need to know about this is nothing on the front. Just it is barren. It is barren.
It is just open territory for stickers.
Sticker the bejesus out of this thing, right?
Or because I think it's more for like an art type of journal, from what I kind of get from the art of the outside here. So it's like urban sketching and things like that. So
right.
Maybe take some Posca markers and sketch your own cover on it.
But what I really do appreciate about this, and I think my buddy Drew Brown over at Goulet Pens would also appreciate, is for some reason, whenever I'm done with using the notebook and you put it back in its cardboard sleeves, it reminds me of the old 1980s Nintendo games. Remember, it came with like a half sleeve where the top part of the Nintendo cartridge pokes out and you just slide it back in. So it kind of gave me nostalgic memories.
Those are for the kids that actually put them away properly, like you did. I'm assuming too, like your collection of, even if you don't like, I mean these days it's like you just download stuff. You don't even have like the physical cartridge or CD or anything.
Yeah. DVD
but are you the
Blu-ray,
type
whatever.
of person that you had the correct CDs in the CD box? Like the discs were in the correct box?
I was, and I still am. Yeah.
That's uncommon. Sir.
Really?
Yes.
Oh no,
Uncommon.
for me it's I'm always this, like, if I have a game box, like for example, if I have like Ghost of Tsushima box, the disc Ghost of Tsushima has to go in the Ghost of Tsushima box. If I had, and I never swap, because I'll lose my mind when I open up, like, I don't know, The Last of Us Part 2 and find Ghost of Tsushima in it. I'll be like, what's going on here? I can't tolerate this. I can't deal with that. It's always been that way. Always has been. But the old Nintendo boxes didn't have lettering on the sleeve. It was the game cartridge that goes into a blank black sleeve. Mm-hmm. You don't remember that?
No, I do. It's just when you end up living with somebody that has no regard for that sort of thing and will leave the cartridges or the discs just laying about on, let's say, on top of the player, right, and not put away properly, then you start to appreciate it when other people have the same mentality, where you're just like, it has to go back in the same box.
Are you talking about wifey or the kids?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, please check out the Endless Observer. These are really fun notebooks. I love the front sleeve. That reminds me of a Nintendo game box, even though that wasn't their intention. And there's writing on it. I love the fact that the notebook is just barren on front and back, and also the material is hard cardboard, and it's different than your old Endless notebooks. It's not like a fake leathery surface, which I also like, but what I like about this is the fact that I think they know you're going to sticker the bejesus out of it, so they give you a lot of real estate to do so, except for their imprinted branding down at the bottom and the back. And it also has your little lanyard to help you find your page, which is great.
Yeah.
So
I
check
think
out
a few episodes ago, I felt like I was rather critical of the Regalia paper, and I said I still like the Tomoe River, which I still do.
Nobody beats Tomoe River.
No, yeah, the Tomoe River, but I am starting to really appreciate the differences between the Regalia and the Tomoe River, and one of them being that it is a little bit more toothier. Some of my smoother nibs kind of attach to that better, if that makes any sense. Sometimes my smooth nibs may sometimes miss Tomoe River because the smooth just kind of doesn't even grab as much. But with the Regalia paper, like the toothiness of it just grabs the nib, and it still will have that little bit of feedback that you'll feel from the paper, but it also is like so much thicker so that you could feasibly use both sides while writing with a very thick nib, or thick and wet nib, that you'd be able to use both sides of the paper. Something like, I was just taking a look here. I got scribbled some notes on this page that's here. This is a 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and I probably could use the other side of it, but you could still see through. But I'm using both sides of this Regalia paper, and I can hardly see through to the other side because it's very thick, and it has like a satiny sort of finish too, which is nice. But,
I hear you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny because the other day Vanessa texted me, and she was talking about the Regalia paper. She was talking about how the Regalia paper is awesome, and I was like, really? I was like, huh, that's interesting. Because Tom wasn't so crazy about it. But then again, your experiences might differ due to different circumstances. And I'm thinking, for me, a lot of times, I think what people experience in terms of differences is their arm leaning on the page or their hand leaning on the page. You might be a little bit more greasy, and you might be imprinting that grease onto the page, and that might affect your writing. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what the case with mine was, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, there's different possibilities that can happen. That happens a lot with me when I'm using the big Rhodia dot pads and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that Rhodia dot pads are crap. It means maybe I need to I don't know, shower more. Who knows? But anyway, this is the
less
longest.
lotion.
This is the longest sponsorship read anyway ever because I got to do the disclaimer. I have to do the disclaimer.
Infotainment. Don't you
Right,
know that?
infotainment. Okay, so check out the Endless Observers, and last but not least, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me.
You sneezed
Last
right
but-
at me.
Last but not
if you're
least,
still
please
on the
make sure to
right-
check out brlcoffeeco.com over at brlcoffeeco.com, and be sure to use coupon code ROY at checkout for an additional savings on all products on the brlcoffeeco.com website. The greatest and best coffee, folks. I am telling you, I'm having a cup right now, and after I do the disclaimer, I'm actually going to go refill this pot. His mug is way better than mine. He has a Tasmanian Devil mug. But you can also buy mugs, you can buy stickers, you can buy all kinds of swag over at brlcoffeeco.com, and you can give yourself just the greatest and best experience of the greatest and best coffee ever created in the history of anything ever created ever, with different roasts and strengths of caffeine. And best of all, it is a smooth caffeine hit that does not give you the crackhead jitters. And there's nothing better than that. So please make sure to check out my sponsors, Gold Spot Pens, Endless Recorders, distributed by Luxury Brands of America, and brlcoffeeco.com. Okay, before we get started with episode number 150, I want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. This podcast is not scripted and therefore will contain potty mouth words both from Tom and I, so be forewarned. You have been warned. Now, on to the podcast.
The PenBoyRoy Entertainment Podcast. Stay savage.
All right, so last week we had to miss an episode because of unfortunateness with regard to both my schedule and you decided that you wanted to have. Can I talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you decided that you wanted to have a sinus ear infection.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, dude, you got to schedule these things so they don't disrupt the podcast.
Or I should let you know beforehand so that we could record around when I eventually come down.
Right. So just, schedule it. Let me know when you're going to get sick. And no, seriously, how do you feel? I know that those sinuses and those sinus and ear infections blow serious balls.
Yeah,
And
it was just mostly I was able to kind of be somewhat functional on Monday, but Tuesday was just a nonstop headache all day long. Pressure behind the eyes, like all around my head. Just was not like sensitivity to light and stuff. So, yeah.
were you sure that it was a sinus infection? Ear infection?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
Is there a
Because-
difference between a sinus infection and an ear infection? Inner ear infection?
They kind of also work the same areas because your sinuses like attach. They're kind of involved in your ears too. So I did
Right.
go to the doctor on Wednesday morning, and she saw that there was still fluid and redness in my ears, and so she gave me. She's like, "Well, you're feeling better, so I don't have to go on medication or anything. But if just in case it goes south." Here's a prescription, and you could take some antibiotics to knock it out. But I haven't had to fill it. I usually won't take it unless like absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it must. I remember when my wife got like a sinus or ear infection. She just was so uncomfortable. It was probably the most heartbreaking thing I had to see because she was like really not feeling well and stuff like that. And she is like as tough as nails too. Like she's one of those people that has me. I get man sick. So like I get a little cold and I'm bundled up in my bed and I'm like, honey, I'm dying, but she'll have like a fever of like 130 and then she'll be like, I'm going to the gym, leave me alone. But when she had this ear infection, sinus infection, she was actually like out of commission and it was hard to watch. But so I heard they were bad, so I didn't want to bug you too much, but I just wanted to make sure you were all good and stuff. And I did try to make you feel better by finding your glasses while I was cleaning out my office room, though you may not be able to tell. But these are the glasses. These are the wonderful glasses that the Odd Oink had left in my car.
Yeah, they look
Right?
good.
Yeah, they honestly look. They look like summer glasses. You know what they also look like? Do you remember when Esterbrook released the JR, the 3 colors, and then
Yes.
there was pictures of sunglasses on the JR bookmark? These glasses look like those glasses. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this puppy here. So I got a shipment, and inside the shipment was these 2 endless recorders. Okay. This one is the Observer.
I got one too. So I got one of these.
We know because you... But did you get one of these?
I did not get one of those. Because apparently I think Bryce knows my prejudice against dated products.
So the problem... All right, so I... Look at this thing. This thing is like... You know what? As soon as I opened it up, it was like so girthy and fat. And because it's a 2023 scheduler. But you know what I thought of? Do you remember like going to the grocery store? It is like it's like a freaking thick book. It reminded me of how I felt when I was a little kid, and I would go to the grocery store, and for $3.99 instead of like $1.99, I would get the Archie Comics Double Digest. Do you remember those?
Well, this is like very similar these days. It's like a graphic novel, so it's
no, but the Archie comics were like small, like pocket size comics, and it was either like a little thin one or a super fat one, the Double Digest. This makes me feel like the Double Digest.
Yeah, you were digesting something all right there.
But look, see this pinky right here? That injury is a paintball nailed right on the fingertip.
Ooh.
By the way, yeah.
I was gonna say I thought that was ink.
No, it's a paintball right on the fingertip. I took it just like it. It hit me just like this. Like if this was in slow motion, it was like. So this was me. I was like, I'm winning. Bam. Oh, because getting hit in the finger with paintball sucks. But anyway,
yeah.
So something just fell out of my. Inside the Endless Planner for 2023 is this little card that says Regalia, and it has all this writing, and then a little sticker up top. Yeah. And then on the inside sleeve, you have that little pocket. And it's hard
I like the black on the inside. Looks cool.
It does. So the first page, if found, return to, and then it says to, that it's if you found, return to your name, email.
Wait, blood group,
I don't know, personal contact information, and address. So I'm just going to tell you right now, if you bought one of these, do not fill that out. Because if found, more than likely somebody is not going to return it to your name, address, blood group, and contact, emergency, and address. What they're going to do is they're going to take that information and they're going to hijack your ID or somehow do some sort of credit card fraud or something. So don't fill that out. You can just put a sticker there.
But what is it? Are we talking blood group in terms of, let's say, familial DNA, or are we talking about blood group as in like what blood type you are, just in case?
Probably blood type. Like let's say you're traveling with your Endless Planner.
Okay.
Get into a massive car wreck and you're bleeding out, and they need to know your blood group or what kind of blood type you are. It helps, I guess, emergency workers to be like, hey, this is his notebook. Oh, look, he's type A or type O or, you know what I mean, type B.
Okay.
You never know, because the first place any first responder goes to when you're bleeding out is to look for his Endless Recorder or his Endless Planner. Maybe his blood group is written in there. I don't know. So anyway, but don't fill that out.
Next time I get my blood taken, like what is my blood type? Because I don't recall.
You need to know that, just in case you do like get hurt or you trip or fall and then you're bleeding out, or someone someone close to you, if they're bleeding out, they need blood in an emergency, and they're like, oh my god, he's type B positive. Anybody type B, you could be like, oh, that's me, take my blood. You know what I mean? So it's important to know that. You should know that. But anyway, don't fill that out, because you're just opening yourself up to like internet fraud and security and stuff like that. Okay. And then the next couple of pages is you have the calendars for 2023, 2022, and 2024. Right? And then the page after that, you have.
I feel like it's story time with Roy.
Right. I don't know what this. I don't know. I don't know what this map page is. I don't. There's a map.
Those are the time zones.
Okay, so let me explain to people who aren't.
What time it is based on the time zone of like certain areas in the world.
Right. So just let me explain what I'm looking at, so people who aren't watching can kind of gather. It's kind of like a silhouette of the entire planet, and then a little like pie next to each one to represent the clocks and the time zones. And then there's a holiday list for 2023. And then there's a habit tracker. I have no fucking clue how I would use this. But
That just seems very intimidating.
yeah, it looks like a times table,
Right.
and across the top is the months, and then going down is 31. And I'm just not sure how I would ever use this. Maybe, Tom, you can give me a lesson on how to use it. Or maybe... Okay, but here's a crazy thing. Pages 5, 6, 7, 8 have the habit tracker,
Okay.
but only the first 5 and 6 say habit. The rest are blank tracker. So you could track whatever else you want. I don't know how.
So they
I would
don't
use
have
this.
to be habits necessarily.
Right. It could be. Maybe...
Although I guess if you do it daily, it might be a habit.
And then the last
is
page,
implied.
the last page on page number 11 is a tracker for 2024, but it's only half a year. And then you get into monthly overviews
Okay.
for several pages, and then you go into January, and these are dated. So January 1st is a Sunday, January 2nd is a Monday. Today, I haven't used it yet, and today's already the 12th. So the 13th rather. So the first like 2 weeks are a wash for me.
That's it.
Which
It'll
is
be blank.
which kind of sucks. So in order for this to be fully efficient and fully used, you have to start it on January 1st, right? Otherwise, you're going to end up at the end of the year with the first couple of weeks blank, which kind of annoys me. I don't want to have blank pages. So hard cloth bound cover. If you haven't gotten one yet, it's up to you. Get one immediately and start using it, or give up all of January, or give up half of January. I don't know.
Are they perforated? Can you just like tear out the pages?
Not perforated. They're all like sewn in. So I don't know.
Like
I feel like they
cut
should.
them out.
I feel like they need to do it for the planner. They need to do it. They can call it the 2023, but they got to leave out the days of the weeks. You know what I'm saying? That way, if you start on March 8th, right? Your first page can be March 8th. And then you can just keep going until the new year. But when they make it dated, you start whenever you start, and anything before that, you're fucked.
Yep.
Right?
I've run into that on a number of occasions when I've gone to, like you said, go into the store, go to just pick up in a generic planner and have great intentions, but you start off not at the exact beginning of the year, and you're having to then just sacrifice all of those pages and say, oh, well, they're just going to be blank.
Right. But you know what? It's only been 13 days.
Yeah, you do
I can
have
always go
just the
back.
13 days.
Yeah, I can always go back and put stuff down that I did, so that if I ever need to know, hey, Roy, what did you do on this day? I can always go back and be like, oh, okay, look, this is what I did. What I like about it, though, is each month is treated like a chapter, and there's a separate page, and then you get your month overview. You know what I mean? That you can write stuff in. So I'm definitely going to utilize this. What I don't like about it is I love that it's hardcover. It opens flat, which is great. What I do not like about it is that it's a cloth-bound book. Now I can't put stickers all over it like my nerdy friends that I've learned to become as same as. Maybe stickers will attach to it. I don't know. But I feel like if you put a sticker on this, it'll just peel off really easily. Right?
Because the cloth is just like that fabric. It could just easily detach itself from the rest of the cover.
But this thing is a serious notebook. Like, seriously?
That looks like if it doesn't save you when you have the blood type information in there, it could possibly save you from stopping a bullet.
I was just about to say that. Ooh. I have a great idea for an experiment.
Oh, no.
Do you remember what we did with the Paniter avatar?
Yes.
When they called it unbreakable? Mm-hmm. We broke the fuck out of that pen. I love doing that. That was fun. Remember, we went to a shooting range called Gun for Hire, and we rented out a couple of pistols. We rented out a 22 caliber pistol and a 9mm pistol. Do you remember that?
Yes.
What do you got there?
I still have the So this is one of the Peniters. Josh had made it into a sculpture with this bear trap. So
what do you mean made it into a sculpture? That's not a real bear trap?
It's not, this is a bear trap. It's still a functional bear trap, but he put these little foam inserts in here so you can't, it's not supposed
it won't
to
close.
mess around with it. Yeah, so
gotcha.
It's stuck right now and just like on display, but this is the one that was actually destroyed in the bear trap. The other one that was shot up, I think that one was thrown away or something.
Hey, do you want to do that? Should we make a fun video and just like shoot one of these books?
Well, we could see like what part of the year it will actually end up
get
on.
to. You know what?
So it's like if you do start in the middle of the year, you could just shoot the first part of it.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna use mine because I'm gonna use this one. We'll ask Bryce for another one that we can torture test it, and we'll shoot it with 3 calibers. What do you think? Like, no.
The thing is though, Endless makes no claim of this book being unbreakable.
Who cares? It'll be fun.
Let's
do it anyway. Oh yeah, let's just shoot the book. I think we could do that. We're gonna shoot it with a 22, 9mm, and 357, and then a 5.56. That'll go right through this thing like it wasn't even there, But just for fun, what do you think? That'll be the next.
Like a fun time.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll talk to Bryce about it, and then we'll get that done. But yeah, this is a girthy book. But let's talk about what we like and what we don't like about the Observer. Okay, let me talk about what I like about this thing. Right, I'm taking a page out of SBRE Brown when I'm saying what we like, what we don't like. Right. If I were doing my own review on this, I would talk about the background information. The good is I like the hardcover. I like that it's blank, gives room for stickers. I like that it opens flat. I like the inside. I like the paper. Everything is pretty awesome.
It kind of reminds me of like a ice cream cookie sandwich.
It does, right?
It's got the two big thick slabs of cardboard cover. They're exposed on the end, so it does look like it's like a...
Okay. What I like about the first page is it's just 3 blank lines. You can say this book belongs to whoever, and it doesn't ask you for
type.
Right. It doesn't ask you for fucking pedigree information that people can use to scam the bejesus out of you. The next page has 2 pages of table of contents. Okay, and then the next page starts your dot grid. I like it. Every page is numbered at the bottom right corner or bottom left, depending on what page you're looking at. So, the bad. Here's what's bad about it, okay? Well, the bad is usually about price, so let's skip that. I want to talk about the ugly. What's ugly about this is the binding, right? This is what the binding looks like. I don't know what that is, but it's like the pages are sewn and then just covered with this thin film of cloth. And it literally looks like an art project by a kid who made his own notebook.
And I'm going to have to agree with you on that here, especially seeing, I don't know if you could see it online, but the copy that I have here towards the top
it's a little frayed.
Yeah, it's already frayed. I just took it out of the box.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too. So, and the construction of that is done so that no matter what page you open it, it opens flat. I think they could have done a little bit better with but I think they could have done a little better with the edges, right? Because being that this is cardboard, look, mine is already frayed and peeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Another ugly is, since this is cardboard, it will warp, so eventually over time you're going to get the cardboard warping in a weird way, or you're going to have the edges opening away from each other. So it'll never be as flat as it is when you first get it. So, otherwise I like it, but do with it that what you will. Do with that information.
I think I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see the edges maybe get like a finish or some sort of like a not like gilded, but some sort of finishing around the edges just to be able to protect them a little bit.
Right, and this is what I'm talking about. You see the end of it kind of like over here. You see that how it just opens up right at the corner.
Right.
it doesn't close flat anymore because it warped a little bit. That's going to happen. When it comes to something like this, maybe that happens. You don't really see it as much.
Well, I know that
And-
the endless recorder for sure does that over time. I mean, I'm already starting to see that here.
Is that
Because
something
of
that
the
happens to
elastic.
all notebooks?
I think just over time with the use, like if I have it closed like this with the elastic band, it's less pronounced. But if I leave it open, it's going to the cover kind of like pops up like that because I've been using it. So it just starts to want to conform to the way that it's being used open. So that's, I think, the same thing with the other one's going to be that way too.
And what am I supposed to do every time I use it? Am I supposed to put it in the sleeve? Is that what's happening, or do I put it in binding side first?
I
Because
mean,
the more
it is a pretty nice sleeve.
yeah, but the more you do it, the more you're going to cause that fraying at the corners, whichever corner you put it
That
in,
and
it's
also
gonna
too
happen.
is that you run the risk of like putting it in incorrectly and then jamming one of the pages, you know, and like kind of ruffling the pages inside too.
Right. Now these
But
are
it
all
is-
very nitpicky things, but I feel like people need to know that.
Price wise though, this is only $18 MSRP. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, not too shabby in that regard. It's 187 pages. It's got a page marker, so it has a lot of aspects that you would find in, let's say, a Rhodiorama or a Leuchtturm, or the endless recorder. But it's less expensive, which I think is okay considering the fact that I think you are getting, you know, not as robust a product as the as those two aforementioned notebooks.
Right. And this, completely squared off edges, that could do it for some people. For some people, it could maybe not do it, because when you have the corners so perfectly squared off, they're going to get dinged, they're going to get
Dinged,
worn
yeah.
in and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe people like that frayed look. I don't.
I'm a sucker for the rounded edge pages. That's just
Right.
it's Moleskine had kind of kicked that style off recently, and everybody's been doing it. You know, Leuchtturm
Right.
and Clairefontaine and Rhodia, like everybody likes the rounded edges. It just makes it seem so much more, you know.
I feel like it works
special.
better. Like this is my Nebula casual note. I like the rounded edges and stuff. I've spilled things on it. My cats have thrown up on it, and I wiped it off and stuff. So this is the one I've been using. This was a Christmas thing I did. I was going to post it, but forgot because I was
Nice.
so busy. You know, so I like those. And then here's my other Nebula that I finished. You know.
Now, what do you think of the Nebula paper compared to the Regalia paper? Because Nebula uses a different
Yeah,
type of
I
paper,
feel like
which is also pretty thick.
yeah, it is pretty thick. I feel like I like the Regalia better. It's
Okay.
in between Nebula and Tomoe River. You know what I mean? When it comes to the smoothness. So Nebula is definitely a drier, more chalkboard type feel. You know what I mean? Like when you're writing with chalk on a chalkboard, that roughness, or it gives your fountain pen more of a graphite pencil feel. That's
Okay.
the Nebula. With the Regalia, you get more of that Rhodia type feel, but still a little bit more toothiness than Rhodia. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
What about you?
totally. Yeah, I kind of feel that the Regalia is also better suited for my taste than the Nebula note paper. But I mean, still Nebula note's good in its own respects. But also too is I feel that the color and the vibration that you would get, like the shading or the sheen, you know, that you would see is really good on Regalia paper, and it's I would say it's like somewhat on par with Tomoe River, but just doesn't. It just is a little bit more toothier.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's
substantial.
definitely more of a toothier Tomoe River. Did you know that I was playing Ghost of Tsushima on PlayStation, and one of the missions earlier on in the game is this. There's an archer Sensei Ishimura, I think his name was, and his student was Tomoe. and she became like his best student, then betrayed the whole village and started killing everybody with the bow. So now we have to hunt down this student named Tomoe.
I was gonna say, I was hoping that you'd say like killed everybody with like paper cuts.
That would make for a very lame game.
No, but it'd be hysterical. Be like, she
Yeah.
just is so good. She just cuts people with paper and just drains their blood.
So actually, for my first entry for Friday, is today Friday the 13th? Holy fucking shit! Ah!
Yeah. Do you didn't want to post the because you were saying that we missed the week's episode, but you didn't want to post it today? No,
I think it's too. It's still that'll be too close to next week. Then we'd have to start moving all the episodes over to the weekend.
We could post it today and then just do it to like another one early next week.
So yeah, we got to talk about. Remind me to talk to you about scheduling, because remember what I got going on until the 20th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll talk about it afterwards.
I have pens on my desk. You want to see what I got?
I am always up to hearing what you got, because all right, just for everybody listening who's not watching, just know that Tom, the Odd Oink, is recording from work. So there's a really cute kitten calendar he has behind him.
That's Snuffles.
For January. Yeah, Snuffles.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, let's see what you got.
So I happen to have, as I always do, I have a few pens on my desk. And one of which I'll be doing a video for today is the Supernova from Leonardo, Officina Italiana. So I have... It comes in a standard... This is the regular size. It's not the limited edition that was made with the Brooks Primary Manipulation resin. I'm just dropping stuff here. But this is the regular size that... I'm just opening up the package just to show you guys the pen here.
All right, so for everybody not watching, he was just holding up the clamshell box. Now he's holding up a very gorgeous red Leonardo Officina Italiano Momento Zero fountain pen. It has a black nib to match the rhodium-plated trim. I'm looking at this pen. There's no translucency to the pen. I'm looking at this pen. I'm not seeing any translucency. There's definitely no type of cracking. It's basically a swirly pen. If you guys remember,
swirly pen, but it's got shimmery sparkles in it.
Does it? I can't see it from there.
It does, yeah, because you can't really.
Are you talking like shimmery sparkles, like Tim McKenzie type shimmery sparkles?
Like sparkles, yeah.
Okay, so it's like a very cinnamony red with like white swirls and cinnamony sparkles. Now the swirls remind me a lot of the Leonardo Officina Italiana Positano blue. This kind of looks like the same type of acrylic, but just a cinnamon type red. And
I would say it's like burnt tomato sauce red.
Oh, no. Why don't we say cinnamon? Cinnamon looks way better.
Or maybe like coagulated O-negative blood.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go with that, because that's not going to skeeve people out and put people off to buying the pen.
No, not at all.
It's a cartridge converter. Does it have that back end of the barrel that unscrews so you can fill it without exposing the...
No, not this, no.
Okay.
This is
so
not open.
You sure?
No.
I bet you I could open it.
I bet you probably break the pen.
Yeah.
There are... Where's the camera there? So there are actually some areas that you could see some layers through. So this is like... You do see some depth of the material.
Really? Because it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it's very, very minimal, but through some of the swirls you could see through to like deeper inside the material.
Right. So I mean, I'm sure because it's a thinner part at the end you're pointing at, but I'm thinking
probably.
that this acrylic is not meant to look like it has depth, right? So it's not like it's supposed to look like a paint on a painting, like an oil painting.
So. Very similar to, let's say, the Visconti Van Gogh sort of style.
Right. So those pens, you're not supposed to be able to see depth. This is kind of just the beauty is in the face of the acrylic. Now?
You can see some of the sparkle?
Yeah, I see a little bit in the cap there. Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah. I like what he did with the
cap band. The cap band's really nice.
I was just about to say, I love that what he did with the center band.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem generic anymore. Like his center bands used to just be
the rings.
Just rings. Now it's something else. It's a design. It has an identification to it. Like you look at that, you know it's Leonardo
on the back.
Yeah.
But do they have? No, I don't have.
Can you show me the the finial part of the pen. I want to see the finial.
It's just
and
flat.
They've moved away from that little pointed top.
For this one, the Supernova, yeah. And
So
then the
the
bottom's
Supernova.
flat with the metal.
Okay, so this is what I love about Leonardo Officina Italiana. They take things that are already existent and then they do it, but for some reason there's something very fresh and original about it, even though it's existed already, which is
I feel
think,
like there's slight iterations of already existing designs because it feels like a Momento Zero in hand. It has a very similar type of. I have one over here, I think. Hold on.
Tom just got up and left to go get his pen.
Yeah. So I have one. So size-wise and shape-wise, very similar.
Right.
But just little small differences between both of them, as in, that's completely flush from the cap to the barrel. The Momento Zero's got a little bit of a lip there. There's the trims. The trim rings are different on the cap. The clips are the same, and you don't have the little pointy ends at the bottom and the top. And then when you open up the grip section, this section is just a slight convex, right? Or is it concave? I forget. I always forget. I always have to look it up. But it's got the taper, but the Momento Zero, this is like my favorite grip section because it kind of has a pronounced contour to that taper.
I like to call that the beer bottle.
The beer bottle shape.
Yeah.
But you can see like the sections are exactly the same in terms of length, but they just are
different in
styled
girth.
Very, very, very slightly differently.
There's also the difference. Also, just can you bring them back up just for everybody watching? The difference also has a lot to do. There's also a ring on the barrel of the old version, and there is no ring on the barrel of the new version. On the new version, it's just a very articulated step instead of a ring.
Yeah,
so
and
slight modifications.
It's not gonna. It's this. The Momento Zero is not going anywhere. It's just they tend to then move on and just slightly tweak existing models, and then just add a little bit more uniqueness in certain parts just to differentiate itself, but give somebody just enough that's different, just to say, oh, hey, look at this. This is kind of cool. Which it does. It does set itself apart from the rest of the collection. The Supernovas do.
Very nice.
It's not just a Momento Zero in, let's just throw, this cool cinnamon stick diamond cast material or whatever.
So is this a retail exclusive, or is this everybody has this? What's going on with this Supernova?
It's a general regular release, not limited, not exclusive to anybody. So it's relatively new, so you can get it anywhere you prefer getting your Leonardo pens. Oh, but this one is really nice though. This one, so that other one is that red material. This is nice green and blue.
Oh, what is that one?
So this is still the Supernova model, but it's just like a green and blue swirly acrylic with some white, and it has sparkles in it too.
Is that's different than the Positano? It's the same style of swirliness as the Positano, but it's not the Positano colors. Just giving everybody a heads up. This has more green in it.
There's just some areas where you would see a little bit of gold and silver shimmer. It looks like there's some gold and silver shimmer in here. But it's the same thing too, is that you would see most of it's opaque, but then there's very select areas where you could see it's a little dark and you see more shimmer. That actually you could see through more of the material. So you could see like the depth that's inside there.
Wow.
A lot of interesting moments that are inside of these pens. Like even here too, in this grip section, you can actually see through to the metal that's inside of the grip area here. You can
collar.
see like the metal threads.
The thread assembly. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
a
very
assembly that's here.
So if you're going to hold it up in the middle of the frame so everybody can see it. If you want them to see it,
I don't want them to see it. They could buy it.
So for everybody listening, he's holding up the cap and then the pen, and it looks like a Yovo nib, and he's trying to show the little bit of transparency that the pen has. I honestly don't think it's supposed to be. You just happen to be able to in the very thin sections. but
yeah, it's just in the areas that it shows itself. You could see it. But they're very small areas, so you have to kind of be looking for them. But overall, really nice. I like these.
I think it very beautiful, very, very nice pen. Okay, so I want to talk about something else while we're still on. So we wanted to do a giveaway that we were going to announce the winner for this week, but I feel like we are going to hold off until another 2 weeks because we didn't get enough submissions. Okay? So
I'm going to submit later today. We're going to submit something later today.
And then do you think you can you put the rules and stuff up when you submit so that people know what the rules are?
The long, very long and
Yes. So we're doing a giveaway, and we're doing the giveaway for my birthday / episode number 150. That's the new reason, okay? And then we're going to announce the winner on the 30th of January or the 31st, whichever day that the episode publishes. But in order to win, you're going to draw a picture of a bald beard guy as best as you can. You're going to upload that picture to IG, or you can email it to us with the hashtag. Do you remember the hashtag? Bryce should grow a beard.
Yes.
Bryce should grow a beard. And then in the picture or in the comment or anywhere, you can just give a reason, a one-sentence reason as to why Bryce should grow a beard. And it could be anything. It could be like, Bryce should grow a beard because 2-ply toilet paper is better than 1-ply. It doesn't have to even make sense. And then make sure to tag Luxury Brands of America, Gold Spot Pens, Ink Journal, and PenBoyRoy. That's it, but we'll have a post up later for everybody to see. I want to see as many submissions as possible. Bryce still has no idea about this, so it'll be great if all of a sudden he's getting tagged and why everybody's like, Bryce should grow a beard, saying why. He's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? He's going to know it had something to do with us. But I like these pranks. They're kind of fun for me. You know what I mean? So we're going to move that to the following end of the month because we only got...
Maybe it's because people don't feel that Bryce should grow a beard.
I don't give a shit. I still want them to do it. and then I want him to grow a beard, and then we'll be like, dude, why are you growing a beard? Like, don't cave into peer pressure. What the fuck, man? Be you.
It's like, come on.
And then make fun of him.
It's like, it's not high school here. You do what you want to do. It's like, but wait, you told me to grow a beard.
Yeah. I'm actually, now that I'm sitting here looking at my endless planner, and I'm just like, the first 13 days are a wash. I get it. But I can't wait until I'm already thinking of things I'm going to put in it, like what I did, just to keep track of what I did and stuff. The greatest thing about these is if you don't want them to end up as Rosario material, because guess what? You never know. The feds could just suddenly raid your house and just be ready to burn it at any point in time. You know what I mean? So
I got nothing to hide.
Right. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to this weekend. This is my birthday weekend. It's not my birthday.
Oh,
but
is it?
We got some
I didn't know.
Yeah. We got some festivities going on that, of course, Sal, Karen, Tom, and his wife are invited to that he's not able to make because of other obligations, apparently more important than his buddy. That's cool. I get it. But in place of him coming to my birthday's festivities, he's doing this giveaway that we're talking about. And what it is actually, it's really good, actually. Now that I know more about the product, it's the Preppy Wah 6-pen set, right?
Yes.
And what's great about that is you get all 6 pens. You can't buy them separately. So if you wanted any one of the Wahs,
separately.
Really?
You can. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
can buy them separately. The fuck am I talking about? But you get the whole set. You get all 6 pens in one single giveaway, which is great. And I think it's fun. I do appreciate Gold Spot and Tom for,
I hope you do.
Doing shit randomly just because I asked them to. Mm-hmm. I've never done so many giveaways where I don't have to give away a damn thing.
Not even having to put it in the mail or anything.
Yeah, I know.
As simple as throwing it in the post and just seeing it.
I love it because I don't have to handle the logistics. I just come up with the idea spontaneously and guilt trip him into doing it.
Yeah.
For days like
That's just how it works.
Yeah. So that's how much They love me, and I love
I
them.
come on, I co-host a podcast with you on the regular, and
Yep.
you get all the glory and the fame for it, and then I have to do all the giveaways. That's how it works, and I have to hold all the T-shirts.
I do have to tell you though, this show would not exist without you. This show is 50% you. So I don't know how we do this.
there. I'm just gonna say, yeah, sure.
Yeah. The personality of the show is the both of us. Not. I know it's called the PenBoyRoy Entertainment Podcast, but the personality of the show is nothing without you. Just so you know.
Thank you.
That's how I feel
It's
about
nothing
it.
without you either, Roy.
Well, I know.
My daughter wants
but
to
anyway,
start one.
What's that?
My daughter wants to start a podcast. She wants to talk about school. She wants to talk about being a middle schooler, a teenager. Yeah, all the various things that happen. She wants like a platform to voice her grievances. So I was like, I don't know about that.
Maybe be careful about that.
Yeah,
Maybe be careful.
could get in some sticky situation.
When we started this podcast, we weren't thinking about anything other than just having fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now here we are. But you also have to realize this podcast, because of how I guess we'd run it, you never know, man. Somebody 20 years from now could be like, oh, you said this thing that at the time now means nothing to nobody, but in 20 years from now could be the most offensive thing ever. And then whatever career you've built could be collapsed by that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm taking the risk. I don't care. I have too much fun doing what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so 20 years from now,
I think that a lot of people have to just also take into account the product as a whole, not just like any one particular little soundbite that you could just grab from anything. You could just say like, hey, they're just generally just talking about pens, and they're having fun and making jokes and stuff, and and just being honest is what it is. It's like we're honestly talking about the stuff that we look at and giving our opinions on it, so that it's because we are in the very fortunate position to have access to a lot of writing stuff, and I know a lot of people you have to just order online for everything, so you only see a picture of it. But if we can somehow provide some more wisdom or guidance or just our own personal opinion about something, it's more useful for everybody out there.
yeah, yeah. But how long before, because of my dietary discussions, how long before someone's going to be like, he hates animals?
Yeah.
Cancel him.
Well, I mean, oh yeah, because you eat. I was like, wait, no, wait, no, yeah. But you do love carbs. You love carbs so much that you just avoid them entirely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So more rice and pasta for everybody else.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I do receive, by the way, Luxury Brands of America sent me gift, like everybody that works with me, they always send gift baskets, right? And it's usually like boxes, like you saw the one that Banu sent me, beautiful box of like candies and all that stuff, right? And I get Godiva chocolate boxes and stuff. Like Luxury Brands of America, you know what they sent me? A Butcher Box gift box filled with grass-fed, grass-finished beefs, meats, chickens, porks. Oh my God, awesome. that was so awesome. So
that was just telling you that, like, oh, it's not going to be the same for everybody. I just can't send, caramel popcorn to Roy. Like, I got to send him a Butcher Box. Nice.
So that touched somewhere deep inside the warm feels of my heart, because that means
and yet
that
you
they
still
were
want to
thinking,
make fun of him for not having a beard.
I don't want to make fun of him. If I wanted to there's so many. It's just so random. I'm like, well, he doesn't have a beard. Tom has a beard. Let's say, why shouldn't he have a beard? I just think it's fun. But I do appreciate that you're going to post, but we got to start wrapping this up.
Okay.
Because we got to. So thanks again for listening. Make sure you guys join the giveaway. Check out my sponsors. Tell me what you think about the notebooks that we discussed. Are you going to get them? Are you not going to get them? Why? Email us at pentertainmentpodcast@gmail.com. Love you guys. Be well. Be safe.
Stay inky.